What's good, bro? What's going on? You can hear me?
What's going to say?
Good, good. No, it's good. Let me turn this fan off.
I'll get my headphones on.
Yeah, everything going good. We got a snowstorm that we are preparing for. That's about to come through. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just getting that.
Alex?
All right, perfect. Can you hear me now?
Oh, hold on. It says you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Oh.
Oh, hold on. I can see you. I can't hear you though.
No? You can't hear me still?
Go back out and come back in.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Is it?
Mic check, mic check.
Oh,
Testing.
My headphones had got unplugged. That was me. Technology, boy. I tell
Yeah,
you.
me confused. Because I was just connecting my headphones at that time. So I was like, man, did I do something wrong? Did I have them in already? So,
yeah, man.
no big deal.
Yeah.
Trying to get some work in the garage right now. Anyway, real quick while I can. You get to watch the Bengals Raiders game?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch. I looked at the score. I saw the Bengals was up.
Yeah, it went down to the last couple plays.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders drove it back down to maybe they were inside the 10 maybe, and they're only down by 7. But yeah, fourth down, they threw an interception. So
Season over.
yeah, just like that.
But I mean, they tried, so that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, they fired the head coach at week 7 or something.
Yeah, and then they had all them issues, and yeah.
Yeah, 2 players arrested, 2 players cut. I'm like, oh, that's the Raiders player.
But they still made it, so they can build on that. You can definitely build on that. Can you hear the baby crying in the background?
Not much. I heard a little something, but not really. It's like a faint background noise.
Okay. Sure. Yes, sir. How was your Saturday today? What you got done today?
Not bad. We planned on going to Busch Gardens this morning, but Gabriel wasn't feeling too hot, so we stayed home. Just hung out here. Got some takeout food for lunch, and we've been doing small things around the house. I had to fix the toilet upstairs. And now I'm just trying to organize my garage a little more. I'm trying to get it to the point where it's not just stuff stacked up in the garage, but I got the shelving to put stuff away. It's just not put away. So
yeah, yeah, it'd be like that. But one thing at a time. Yeah, we got this supposed to be this snowstorm coming through tomorrow. They say we're supposed to get 2 to 3 inches of snow. Is actually, and then on top of the snow, it's supposed to be wind gusts up to 50 and 60 miles an hour. So we'll see. So we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go down in the basement just to avoid any issues if it starts getting too windy.
one storm at a time, man. Get through to the other side. We were talking about storms over 2, 3 days ago.
Mhm.
But
This hold on. It's supposed to start raining in a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining all night. And then the weather just drop and drop, rain drop, and then snow around tomorrow morning. And then all tomorrow afternoon, it's supposed to be snowing. And then I think, let me see. And then on Friday, it's supposed to snow as well. So, let's see.
y'all got a hot streak of good weather
Yeah,
going on.
I yeah.
You ever seen Undercover Brother?
Trying to remember which one was that. Was that with
It had the comedian in it, dude from
you
Deuce
talking about?
Bigelow, man, Bigelow. Not the main actor, but like the guy that was training him.
Hold on. Oh yeah. I did. I believe I did see this movie.
Okay, yeah. It was like they were like this is like black FBI,
Yeah.
more or less, like yeah, and like trying to uncover the white man taking over. And
Yep.
I was talking to my mom about it because she's talking about something about eating mayonnaise. I was like, nah, I don't eat mayonnaise. You ever seen Undercover Brother? She's like, nah, I never seen it. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I didn't like mayonnaise before that, but that's anytime someone asks why I don't like mayonnaise,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah. Hey, look, now I ain't gonna lie. I love some Duke's mayonnaise though. I tell some Duke's up.
Man,
Duke's is the
they got you
best.
corrupted.
Duke's is the best, man. Now I won't eat nothing else. I don't eat no other type of mayonnaise but Duke's. Duke's is the only one. That's it. Outside of that, definitely don't eat no Miracle Whip. That is disgusting. Miracle Whip is the worst. Oh, man, I think I'm coming down with something. I got to take me some oregano oil. I got some. Oh man,
that weather changing like y'all got. You're gonna get something one way or another.
Man, I can feel it too. It feels like it's just a sinus infection, but it's starting to hurt. Man. So I'm about to take this. When I get off the call, I'm gonna take some oregano oil for the next couple of days and knock it on out. Because I can't deal with this. And I'm getting a headache. And then I'm fasting. So usually what I do is I'll make me some chicken noodle soup and then I'll roast in my air fryer some garlic and onions, raw garlic and onions, and then put it in the soup, put a little spice in there, and eat. I might just eat the garlic and onions. That's what I might just do. That way I don't have to worry about, I ain't got to worry about the soup. I might just do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean, onions are. I think if it came down to like having to eat one onion and just calling it a life, I'm like, you know what? You know, my life was fulfilled to this point. I'm good to go.
Yeah, man. Hold on real quick. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
The infrastructure of a man. Untold history.
All right, yeah. So I got my oregano oil. Let's see, is it gonna focus in? So I got me some oregano oil. I just take this. You got the dropper, and I just put it right underneath my tongue. Do that a couple of days, and then knock it out. Knock everything out. It's strong though. The first time you gotta make sure you got you something to drink. The first time I did it, yes, Ron. Yes, Ron. Remember when you when you bit into that what was that? That horseradish, and I told you not to. Yeah. Well, that's what happened to me when I took this oregano oil for the first time. I didn't know how strong it was, so I put it underneath my tongue and just swallowed it. Almost had to take me to the hospital. I was almost out of here. Mike, how you doing today, man? You good today? You straight? All right. I think he ain't connected his audio. He might have just wanted to listen in today. Yes, Ron, how you doing today? Oh,
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I was telling them I'm a little cold, so I gotta take this oregano oil to knock it out. We got snow. It's supposed to be snowing tomorrow. It's supposed to be getting 2 to 3 inches plus wind gusts of up to 50 to 60 miles per hour wind too.
And it's probably be cold this week, huh?
It's supposed to snow again Friday. That's what they say. So we're gonna see.
It'll be cold all
We're gonna
this
see
week.
how that go. Yeah, we're gonna see how that go, man.
Hey, please.
What's good, Ty? What's good? How you doing, man?
I like my friends be soft.
What's good, Ty? Oh, you ain't got your mic pulled up yet. Yeah, we're gonna get started in 2 more minutes. Give everybody about 2 more minutes to get on. We ain't gonna have a long one today, but we're gonna get started. You were saying something, yes, Ron?
Oh no, I was talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh man, I got me some Pedialyte in here too. I'm gonna drink me on down. Yo, you know what I saw the other day at the store and it had me really baffled? Gatorade has their own version of Pedialyte. It's called Gatorlyte. And so when I saw it at the store, I was like, hold on. Isn't this what Gatorade is supposed to be? What have y'all been giving us all these years if y'all had to make a drink called Gatorlyte when I thought Gatorade was the drink that had the electric lights in it? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's something I don't know. But I could have swore that's what original Gatorade was. Maybe I'm missing something. Remember regular Gatorade is supposed to be all your electrolytes that you need, and with your potassium and all of that, all of the things that you need to keep your body hydrated. And then they come in. Yeah, but I mean they probably did the same thing with the Gatorlyte too. So I don't know. We'll see. I didn't look at the ingredients. Actually, I actually did. I think I got one and I tasted it and it was pretty decent. But that's where I was at with that. I was like, this is weird. I should have looked at the ingredients. I didn't know. But this was before the fast. So, now I'm on the fast, I'm looking at everything. Let me pull up this book so that way we can get started with it. When I get started, we'll have it open. So that way I'm ready. All right, y'all, it's 8:15. Give me just 1 second here. All right, gentlemen, I am back. So I want to welcome everybody to Infrastructure of a Man. Let me share this, share sound, optimize the video clip. Gentlemen, I want to welcome everybody to Infrastructure of a Man, Setting Your Intention, session 14. We've already been going at this thing 2 weeks now. This is session number 14. Wow. Yeah, 2 weeks strong, gentlemen. Being consistent in this thing. I appreciate you all for being here, being a part of this, growing and learning. And we're going to continue to keep growing and learning. This is session 13 of our fast. Or day 13 of our fast. So that means we have 8 more days left of our fast. So I want to thank everybody for being here at this Setting Your Intentions, Infrastructure of a Man. So who am I? I'm Virgil Johnson. I'm an author, public speaker, consultant, father, husband. I've got 2 works that are published on Amazon, Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, How to Use the American System as a Black Individual in America to Your Benefit, in the Garden Bed of Life Journal. This is Infrastructure of a Man. Infrastructure of a Man is an organization and consultant business that works with men to help them overcome mental blocks and stuck points. We also help men restructure their ideas as well as help them create new ideas. We work together to form a support system where men can go to be understood, supported, as well as have an accountability group that will encourage one another to achieve the goals that they have set forth for their life. Our aim is to ensure that real men prevail. So today's topic that I want to go over Infrastructure of a Man, 7 core pillars of manhood. So in the grand scheme of goal setting our intentions, growing into, greater individuals than where we are now, it's pertinent that a man has core pillars of principles that he subscribes to. Some schools of thought that I've read says that even if, you got people who are Christians who follow the Bible, Israelites, Jews, Abrahamic faiths, they have 10 commandments that they follow. But there are a lot of schools of thought that said that in addition to those 10 commandments, you should have your own personal set of 10 commandments that personally govern your life. That will work to make sure that you stay in what it is that you need to stay in. As we know, the 10 commandments are great. They're wonderful for making sure that you are living according to the Creator's laws, commandments, and that you find your place in heavenly kingdom. But if you're a person that procrastinates, 10 commandments don't cover procrastination. So you have to figure out these things for yourself. So it's important that you come up with your own set of pillars or principles or core principles. So here at Infrastructure of a Man, we have 7 core pillars, and we're going to go over those core pillars today. I'm also telling you these because there are a lot of men who they're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to get on the path to do what they need to do. And, right now they may not know where to start at. So hopefully this can now give them a starting point to where they can start at and then build from there. So without further ado, pillar 1 is possess a set of core principles, a moral compass that you live by and apply daily. For those of y'all who everyone knows, but for those of y'all who may be watching this video later, at a later date, you may not know I subscribe to being a Hebrew Israelite. That is my core set of principles that I follow. My foundation is Torah. So I follow the Torah, the laws that the Most High gave Moses to give to the Israelites. That's what I follow. But here, Infrastructure of a Man, everyone may not subscribe to what I subscribe to. That's okay. We have men from all walks of life. My biggest thing is whatever it is that you are doing or whatever it is that you need to do, you need to find a core set of principles for you to follow and for you to implement in your daily life every single day. If you want to be successful, we know that success is built off of consistent habits. So in order to be successful, you have to have consistent habits. And these consistent habits have to be something that involves discipline. The great thing about spirituality and religion, if you're in the proper one, is it sets you up with a standard or a guiding principle for self-discipline. Now, some people may be like, oh, I don't believe in the Bible. That's fine. Find you something. Maybe the Quran, maybe the guiding self-governing principles in the Quran work for you. Follow that. Oh, I don't believe in any Abrahamic faith. That's fine. Maybe Buddhism works for you. Oh, I don't believe in any man-made religion. That's fine. Come up with a set of principles that you can live by daily that works for you, that you aren't going to make any excuses on why you can't do them, and follow them every single day. If you're able to do that, then you set yourself up for being successful. That gives you the ability to trust yourself because you know what you're going to do. You're going to hold yourself to a standard, and then that gives other people the ability to trust you as well because they know you have a standard that you live by, and you're not going to break that standard. So they know that they can trust you, and they know that they can do business with you or they can have you in their life because you have a set of discipline that you follow and subscribe to. It's very important above anything else. That's why this is pillar number one. You have to have something that you believe in and that you subscribe to and that you follow that governs you. If you don't have any rules, your life will be in chaos. If you just doing whatever, if you're just in survival mode, your life will be in chaos. If you're just doing what it takes just to get through, your life will be in chaos. You have to organize the chaos by setting up a set of rules and principles so that way you can have structure and order in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Pillar two is be balanced. You need to be secure enough to be vulnerable and strong enough to be gentle. So as a man, we have to make sure that we are balanced. We can't be too high. We can't be too low. We have to make sure that we're in that middle because that's how we build that lasting legacy. If we allow things to pull us in either direction, then that could pull us out to places where we weren't trying to get to in our life. I remember when I used to coach. So a lot of you all know that I was the girls varsity head basketball coach at Brandon High School for 3 years. So at the end of the year, University of South Florida, which is, they for the last, say, I think 5 or 10 years, they've been the top 25 team in women's basketball every year. They would send all of the high school girls tickets to their games. So we went to a game when they played UConn, and we all know how dominating UConn's women's basketball program is. Now, USF is a really good team. They're not UConn. They weren't UConn. So I'm watching the game now. UConn is up by like 30. And they're just boom, 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 boom. Pass, 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 cut, shot, boom. Whether they hit the shot or whether they missed the shot, their reaction, their reaction to the circumstance never wavered. They were up by like 30 points at one point in time. USF cut it down to like, I think 16 or 18. And UConn never frazzled. You didn't see any of the UConn players getting frustrated. You didn't see any of the UConn players like getting upset with themselves or their teammates. They didn't start, they continued to do the same thing. Had you not looked at the scoreboard, if you were just basing it off of UConn's players, you'd have never known that the score changed. Even just looking at, okay, yeah, they scored some baskets in a row, but UConn's players, their demeanor never changed. And then they end up winning the game. And I've watched multiple UConn women's games, and that's how they play. Like there's no, I won't say there's no emotion, but there's no movement because of adversity. And that's why, men, we have to make sure that we're balanced. We can't allow this. Is a mantra that I got from a book. Oh man, what's the name of that book? I forget the name of the book, but in the book, the mantra is adversity does not move me. As men, we have to understand that we're going to go through some things, but we have to stay even calm and even keeled. And yes, that's easier said than done, but you have to at least set a target to make sure that you're balanced, that you don't allow things to get you too high. You don't allow things to get you too low. Yes, you're going to have feelings. You're going to have emotions. I'm not telling you to be a robot. What I'm telling you is to find a place to be in the middle and stay there. So yes, you can, if you go to a basketball, you go to your child's concert and they do really good, absolutely you can be happy. Yes, you can. If you were supposed to get a raise and you didn't get a raise, absolutely you're allowed to be disappointed. Yes, you can be. But in any of these aspects, that disappointment shouldn't take you all the way down to a state of depression where you can't work or you can't handle your responsibilities at the house. No, what you need to do is be like, man, I really thought I was going to get that promotion. I'm really disappointed that I did not get the promotion. But now what do I need to do to make sure that I'm able to bring in some extra money, because now I don't get that money that I was counting on. See what staying balanced does is allow you to see past the current moment and still overcome obstacles. Just like even if you get too high, like I told you, I've been a basketball coach. I have been coaching for a very long time, playing basketball for a very long time. People get very emotional over things, especially things that they cannot control. A few weeks ago, Monty called me and she said that there was a shooting at a child's football game at a at a children's football game at one of the parks in Tampa. And in my head, I'm like, how do you allow your emotions to get that high as a parent or, you know, a participator, a supporter, that you go and pull out a gun and start shooting at people when you have no control over what's going on the field? And even if we could say, oh, well, maybe they was talking junk about that person's kid. Okay, so those words were that upsetting. They can be like, man, yo, that number, he absolute terrible stuff, da da da. Okay, that's that person's opinion. They can feel however they want to feel. But your high emotion in that state has now altered your life. If somebody got shot, their life. More importantly, those children who now have to deal with that traumatizing effect. So let's just say they was talking junk about somebody's child. Which one is more traumatizing? Somebody in the stands who I don't know talking junk about me, who my parents can explain how to block that out later, or me seeing my parents shoot at somebody because they said something? Which one is more traumatizing? That's why as men, we have to make sure we stay balanced, because our actions have ripple effects that can affect what's going on outside of us that we may not know. We have to make sure we stay balanced, stay in the middle. If not, it can cause detrimental effects either way. Pillar number 3, possess inner peace, making peace with who you are and who you are not. As I was putting this thing together, there were some notes that I had came up with, and I actually had made a post as well for this stuff. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, people, we really struggle with accepting where we're at, especially those of us, let's just say those of us that play sports, and we play sports at a high level, and let's just say we didn't go professional. A lot of us, you know, we try to, you know, live that professional dream at the park. We go and play in these, you know, semi-pro leagues or whatever, and we haven't accepted who we are and who we are not. A lot of us struggle with where we're at, and we didn't, you know, being young, being dumb, making a lot of dumb decisions. We come to a place in our life where we're struggling where we're at, and it's hard for us to accept that. And it causes us to be in chaos internally because we're fighting with the image of who we think we should be. Here's the quickest way to get to where you feel like you should be. Accept where you're at right now. You have to, because here's the thing. In the moment, there's nothing that you can do to change it. And this is the reason why. Because where you're at currently in your life is a sum total of all the decisions you made in the past. You can't go back to the past and change those decisions. The only thing you can do is change the decisions that you're making right now, so that way the you in the future can be where you feel like you need to be at. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. So there's no need in sulking now. You can reflect so that way you don't make the same mistakes. Reflection is okay. But when you start sulking, when you start beating yourself up, when you start allowing that to bring you down and to make you depressed, that's a problem. Because when you're in any of those states, it doesn't allow you to grow. You have to make sure that you're operating in inner peace, accepting where you're at, and then accepting who you are and who you are not. You got some men, hey, look, some men, they 5'9", every bit of 5 feet 9 inches. And they gonna lie and tell everybody they 6 feet tall. Hey, just accept you 5'9", man. Just accept that's where you're at. You don't gotta lie on yourself. Like be comfortable being 5'9" and be the best 5'9" individual that is here on the earth. Like, all right, cool. Some women may not like you because you don't meet a certain metric standard. So what? There's many women out there who don't care about that. They're just looking for a great man. But if you steep your existence in things that you cannot change, that's when it's difficult. That's when it becomes difficult for you to live in your creative power and who you are authentically supposed to be. It's hard for you to do that. That's why a lot of us go around and we're chasing all of these different things because we're trying to fulfill someone else's purpose or someone else's thoughts instead of being at peace with who we are not, and living in that light. Some of us are great at certain things. Some of us are great at other things. If we, you know, scripture talks about the body. And this is why it's important to possess inner peace, because when you're in inner peace, no matter what your role is extremely important. Scripture talks about the body of the Most High. Every part of the body is as important as other parts of the body. Now, what people get things convoluted at is they put emphasis on other parts of the body more so than certain parts of the body. So a lot of people want to be the arms because they control things. But when it comes, let's just say, let's think about the big toe. Like a lot of people, they don't think the big toe is of significance, but if you cut your big toes off, your equilibrium is shot. It's almost impossible for you to stand straight up with no big toes. That's how the balance of your entire body lays in you having two big toes. So as much as we want to be the arms because the arms is controlling everything and they're the ones calling the shots and they're the ones that everybody sees, you don't see the big toe all the time. Big toe get covered up by socks, shoes, all of that. The arms are always out. The arms are always involved. But maybe you're a big toe. And maybe you need to focus on being that big toe as opposed to trying to be an arm and being upset because you're not an arm. A lot of times people are like, why am I not da da da? But your role is just as important. Your role is just as important. Your role as, you know, even the eyelashes. People want to be the eye. Think about the eyelashes. Oh, that's insignificant. The eye can't properly form if there's no eyelashes there. If you don't have any eyelashes, then you get all types of dirt and debris in the eye. Now the eye can't see. Now the body is lost. So the eyelashes are just as important as the eye because the eyelash protects the eye. So accept who you are, possess that inner peace, and that way you can operate fully in who it is that you need to be or what it is that you're supposed to be. Pillar 4. Let me just make sure that there's no one trying to get in on the call. Hold on 1 second. All right. No one's trying to get in on the call. All right. Going on to pillar 4. Pillar 4 is build a strong house. Family is foundation. Foundation is family. When I say build a strong house, I literally mean like your home, like your home has to be in order. If your home is not in order, it becomes very difficult for you to succeed as a man. It's not impossible, but it becomes very difficult. Just think if you have a wild and rambunctious child and you have to go up to the school all the time to get them out because they didn't got suspended or they didn't got in a fight, or you got to have consistent meetings with teachers and administrators. You missing time on your job, which means it's cutting into your pay. So it's cutting into your ability to pay for the home for your family. On top of, it's cutting into the ability of your bosses to know that you are consistent at your job, like you're reliable, like you're going to be there. That may cost you your job. So now you can't necessarily provide for a home or the necessities that your family needs. So you have to make sure that your house is in order. If you got a woman who's out of line, who's always, who she gets out of line and she, when she gets mad and upset, she calls the police and lies on them and tell them that you beating on her. Now you sitting in jail, you getting charges. Now this is affecting you being able to work. Like, you got to make sure you have a house in order. Now, for many of us who are already in our households, it's going to take some work to get that household, in rein or in line, rein back in line. But for those of us who you have not built the household yet, be very careful about how you're building your household. Like, you have to know exactly what you want. I posted a post on Instagram the other day, and Chad Johnson, he was talking about how he chose his women. Now, he was, making jokes and stuff like that. He said, I don't care about the looks and all this and that. I don't care about that. He said, I would ask women, like, did you run track in high school? Like, what, like, oh, did you play sports in college? Like that, he said, because I wanted to produce athletic children. He said, I'm athletic. I want to produce athletic children. In order for me to produce athletic children, I need to have a woman who is athletic. He said, I would literally look at a woman's ankles. I'm not looking at what her face look like. I'm looking at what her ankles look like. Because if her ankles are weak, he said, and this is how intricate of detail he got down to, and everybody was laughing, but he had a great point. He said the foundation of any athlete is their ankles, because you have to be able to move and cut and go real fast. And no matter what sport you play, you have to have good ankles. So if the woman that I'm procreating with has bad ankles, my children might have bad ankles. But here's the thing, that's a man who knew exactly what he wanted. So he don't care what the woman looked like. He don't care what type of assets she had. He knew, I want athletically dominating children, genetically athletic dominating children. So I need a woman who possesses that same thing. So I need to go down to the smallest detail of what is the structure of her ankle. If you're a man and you have not built your house up yet, that's how detailed you have to be when it comes to the women that you choose. Because you have to realize the women that you choose are going to be the women. The woman is who runs the house. The man builds the house and provides for the house. The woman runs the house. The woman teaches the children. A child's first teacher is the woman. So if you have a woman that's off mentally, your children are going to be shot. Sorry to say it. And then here's the thing. Now that's your legacy, your lineage. So now, more than likely, that's just going to breed more chaos and more confusion. And then your grandchildren have to deal with that, and their children, you have to deal with that for a few generations. So that's why if you're an individual who has not built this house, make sure that you take the time and you be patient. Like, you ain't got to rush into nothing. You ain't got to get with a woman just because, oh, she looked nice and she liked me. No, like, what does she bring to the table? And I'm not talking about tangible. So I'm not talking about, oh, she got her own house, her own car. Because guess what? When y'all come together, y'all gonna have to come together. So it don't matter if she got her own house, because y'all gonna have to come together in one house. Y'all may have to go buy another house together. None of that matters. What does she fulfill? Does she fulfill the role that you need her to fulfill in your life? Can she contribute to the building of your legacy in the manner in which you want it built? Then here's the thing: we get so, I don't know where we got this from, but we get so caught up in arguing with people about how we feel things should be, as opposed to just being with people who agree with us. We don't have to argue and bicker and fight with somebody who doesn't see. We don't have to force somebody to change and mold into somebody they're not, when there are probably billions of people out there who share the same thought process we do. I posted a post online the other day that said, whether you feel like things should be 50-50 or whether you feel like a man should pay for everything, just find you somebody who supports you. If you're a man and you feel like, hey, this 2022, it's hard out here. I need somebody who's gonna be able to split the bills with me. We're gonna find a woman who agrees with that. Don't go find a woman who feel like you should pay for everything as a man and then spend the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years arguing with that woman about that. For what? When there are women out there who actually think, hey, things should be 50-50. If you're a man and you're like, no, I need to take care of everything, first thing you need to do is make sure you have everything in order to do that. Don't feel like you need to pay for everything and a man should take care of everything, and then go get in a relationship with a woman and you ain't in a position to take care of everything. Because what's going to happen is you're going to put extra pressure on yourself and stress and unnecessary anxiety on top of the woman is going to do the same thing. Take the time to build yourself up. Build up exactly what you want your kingdom to look like, and then go find a woman to put in it. Now, if you're a man who you're already in a place where, hey, I already got my house, I already got the structure set up, you and your woman need to go back to the drawing board, sit down, maybe you need to get a mediator like a therapist, sit down and arch out, okay, what is this thing gonna look like? And don't go at what it's gonna look like based off of a societal view. Remember what I talked about in step 1, pick you a set of morals and live by them. Do the same thing with your relationship or your marriage. What works best for you all? Not what worked best for this person over there, or, our couple who we've been on, or my mama and my daddy, or, some religious character that I read in some religious book. No, what works for you and your spouse? Figure that out and stick to that. So you cut down on a lot of headaches. Now, is it going to be picture perfect? No, it's not. You're still gonna have to have an adjustment period, but the adjustment period is a lot smoother when you all work with what you have, and when you accept where your spouse is at and your spouse accepts where you're at. That's how you do that. And then you choose your foundation, and then you start building from that. Then you go to the children. Hey, look, this is how we're gonna have our household in order. Give your children some grace, some structure, but give them a standard, and then be consistent in that standard and build up your house. So that way, when it's time for you to go out into the world, you're able to operate at your full capacity because your house is in line and your house is in order. And you don't have to worry about so many things in the house, because you're going to have life is going to pop up. Storms are going to hit. Storms going to pop up. Adversity is going to hit. Adversity is going to pop up. It's there. But you don't want to put unnecessary storms and adversity in your life when you don't have to. So get your house in order. And plus, when your house is in order, you can work as a team and achieve what it is that you, the man, is trying to do as the leader of the house for the family and for coming generations after that. So make sure you build a strong house. That's pillar 4. Pillar 5, build or rebuild your community. An individual starts living when his concerns are for his fellow neighbor. We live in a society where people now are, a lot of us are selfish. Like, we're like, oh, that's not my problem. I'm not worried about it. But eventually it will become your problem. Like, we live in 2022. So you can try to separate yourself, but this ain't 1965 and we're like, we have the internet. So you got kids who both of their parents are making 7 figures. They live in gated communities. And for some reason, they still figured out a way to gangbang. We in 2022, like, the internet connects everybody. So if you think, oh, this issue not going to get to me, it's not going to reach me, I don't need to worry about it, you're sadly mistaken. It could get to you very easily. Like, you can, like, we live in a certain society. So even if you keep your children off of certain things, but then you got influences of other children. It's so much, like, it's only so much you can do. Like, you could do the best you could do for protection, but there's only so much you could do. So outside of that, you have to go in and build or rebuild your community. So that way you can fix these ailments and we can live in a more holistic society. And it may not be you by yourself. You're gonna have to, of course, come together with other individuals. But if we all just collectively just take our time, I don't know if y'all heard the story, but a few months ago at the beginning of the school year, there was a school, I think it was a middle school, and they were having fights all day, every day, just kids fighting all the time, just fighting for no reason. And a group of dads said, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go up to the school and be present. Just be present at the school. Do y'all know there was not one fight at that school when those dads showed up? And the dads weren't out there like doing nothing. They literally just greeting the kids as they came up. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm glad to see you made it here. Hey, have a good day. Just walking through the hallways in the morning, just walking through, like, that's what they were doing. And they didn't have any fights at all at that school when those dads were there. Now, I don't know what's happened since the dads have left. I don't know if the dads still go there, but that just goes to show you the importance of the roles of us as men in our communities. Now, every community ain't gonna be like that. You can't save everybody, but those in which you can, then go and do it. Because it's a lot of kids out there who are teetering. It's a lot of communities out there that are teetering. They just need a vision. Once you get them a vision, they'll take off. Some communities, they shot, like, they gone. They know you can do. They done for. But for those communities that are on the fence, that's teetering, let's go and try to rebuild as many of those as possible. So that way we could kind of put more emphasis on the winning side. We can see that there are more winning than losing. So you have to make sure you build or rebuild your community. Pillar 6, health is wealth. It means nothing as a man for you to gain wealth and riches and all of these things if you either have to spend your wealth on your health, or you can't enjoy it because you checked out too early because you didn't take care of yourself. One of the things that this fast is showing me, and I knew it before, but I had to be reminded of it, like, when I'm not eating good, I am off. Like I'm sluggish, I'm tired. Like now I wake up and I'm not tired when I wake up. Now I'm up and I don't have to take a nap in the middle of the day. Now I can work longer. I can be more productive. My mind is quicker. Now that I'm not eating processed foods, not eating sugars, not eating junk, not eating fast foods. Like I'm eating salads and healthy foods and lentils, eating fruit every day, eating vegetables. Like I cut out the snacks because of this fast and I can feel it in my body. So I'm able to be more productive and get more things done. That's what we have to realize. Like your health is your wealth. If you don't have good health, you don't have anything because eventually your wealth will be spent on your health. So we have to realize health is the greatest of human blessings. And above anything else, health. Because as long as you have your health, as long as your body is fully functional, as long as your mind is fully functional, you could go out and get anything else that you want. Because you'll have the abilities and the tools, your mind and your body to go and do that thing. So protect your health. Protect your health at all costs. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are healthy, so that way you can perform at your peak level that you need to perform at. Because a lot of, especially as men, we know how we can get drawn down emotionally when we can't do what we need to do. Y'all know what, my back went out. I couldn't walk for almost 6 months. Due to no fault of my own. Partially due to no fault of my own. Somebody rear-ended me, got into a traffic accident. Now, I wasn't working out as much as I should have. Maybe if I had worked out more, maybe my muscles would have been stronger and my back wouldn't have went out. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it was just meant to be. I don't know. But what I do know is how depressed I became when I could not perform at my highest level that I know I could. And I know a lot of men struggle with some type of depression because there's a part of their health that they're neglecting that's keeping them from performing what they know they can perform at. And if they just change their health routine, then they'll be able to perform, and it'll take away that anxiety, or to take away that depression. So you have to do that. Make sure you're putting the proper things in your body. A lot of people don't know. Another reason why a lot of people are depressed is a lack of vitamin D. A lack of vitamin D causes depression. So if you feel like you're depressed, one of the first things I'll tell you to do is go take some vitamin D and see if that helps. If that doesn't help, then start going down the line of all the things that you need to do. But you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, eating the proper things, getting the proper rest. As men, we feel like, we have to, I can't, if I can't sleep too much. No, if you don't get the proper amount of sleep, it messes with your entire body. Like lack of sleep causes dementia. So we feel like we're big and strong until we can't remember nothing. And now we got to rely on those around us, which how do you think that'll make you feel then? When you can't even remember simple things like where you live at, and you got to pull over to the side of the road for 2-3 hours because you're lost, because you felt like it was macho to only get 3 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep. Take care of yourself, get rest, put the proper nutrients in your body, meditate, do all of these things and make sure that your health is on par. And the last pillar, the seventh pillar, is leave a good name in the earth. Your name is what will open doors for your children years after you have passed away. This is very important, gentlemen. There's some things that money cannot buy. Like, as much as we think, money can do everything, nah, money can't do everything, because there's some people who are crappy on this earth and they have tons of money, and some people will not, there's a lot of things that will not deal with them. Just like, what was that, week 18 in NFL? The Jaguars, as y'all know, they had this abysmal season, terrible season, fired their coach, everything. Their fans were showing up to the game in clown outfits. Not only were their fans showing up to the game in clown outfits, one of their sponsors actually sued them to break the contract because they said the Jaguars were not living up to their part of the contract by putting forth a good atmosphere that made their name, that company's name, look good. That's why it's very important to make sure that you have a good name above anything else, because you can't buy that. Like you can't buy a good name. A good name is from the things that you do, how you treat people, how you interact with people, the things that the actions that you take in this earth. Are you someone who's always causing mayhem, always causing chaos? Or are you someone who who, for the most part, are doing the right things. Someone who is helpful, someone who is rebuilding others, uplifting others, just being a great role model. Like, you have to do that, because because a lot of times, here's the thing, we think we can bully people. And so sometimes we do bully people, and we use our strength to get what we want. But then when we pass away, you're not here to bully people, and now your children got to deal with the consequences of your actions. So now a lot of doors are going to get shown in their face, because people are going to be like, nah, your daddy in here, I ain't got nothing to be scared of. Or, nah, I didn't like the way your dad did things, so I'm not going to deal with you, because you're probably going to be just like him. So you want to make sure you leave a good name in this earth, so that way when future generations down the line look back, they can see, okay, or look back, they can see, okay, this is where I came from. We all go through things. Our great grandchildren, great grandchildren are going to go through things as well. How do you think it's going to look to them if they're trying to pull from some form of strength, and they heard about you? They heard about who you are. Yeshron, they heard about Yeshron, and they go to look who Yeshron is, and let's just say he was a terrible man. Well, they're going to feel like, well, dang, I can't get through what I get to. I can't get through what I need to get through. Or they heard that you gave up on a lot of things, or you just quit in life. They gonna feel like, well, it's in me to quit, and they might give up. But let's just say that same grandchild looks back and they see, oh man, my granddad was doing this, he did this, he went through this, but still overcame this. He was trying to do this, he was helping these people, he was taking care of this responsibility. Well, then that's gonna empower them, because they're gonna be like, well, that's my grandfather, that's my blood, that's what's in me, so I know I can get through it. I know I'm strong. That's why it's important to make sure that you leave a good name in the earth, because you never know how it might affect your generations down the line. So it's very important that you do that. So that was the 7 pillars. Gentlemen, y'all got anything that y'all want to talk about, discuss in regards to the 7 pillars? Anything that caught your attention, that you want to add or whatnot?
I mean, that was good. You hit it on the head. I was just taking a listen.
All right, good. All right. Yes, Ron, you got anything? Alex, you got something?
I mean, I would have to agree. Yeah, everything he was hitting was spot on. There were some points that connected, but yeah, it was motivating in a lot of different ways. I mean, it kind of reminded me what we were talking about building, for that next generation. As far as I think a lot of people focus on like breaking like generational cycles that are negative, but don't really know how to replace them with something that can build on the positive side.
Yeah.
So as you were speaking, that's just something that came across my brain. But
Good.
yeah, everything is great.
All right, good. And I want to make sure, like I said, put that out there, so that way, those of y'all who need somewhere to start, you have it. And then also just, giving us something tangible to build up. So we got a 21-day fast. Today is day 13. We got 8 more days. Man, I ain't gonna tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Today I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting a little sick, coming down with a little cold or whatever. But the last couple of days, like, it's been hitting me. Like, it's really been hitting me. So I'll be like, oh man, I've been out of it, but I'm still staying strong, still staying to it as far as the food. The habits as well, like not procrastinating, oh man, the negative talk, that one has been big for me. Like focusing on positive talk, because like scripture tells us, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So if you are engaged in negative talk, there's no telling what type of negativity you're putting over you. And that's for me. That's why I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I don't engage with this. And then to it, I'm an empath. I know I'm an empath. So when me being an empath, I absorb energy. So if I'm around negative energy, I'm gonna absorb that, and it's gonna change my demeanor. I don't want that. I want to stay in control of my demeanor. And I want it to be at a certain level, which is I want to be operating in peace, happiness, and joy majority of the time, even in times of adversity. Alex, how's the fast going for you?
No, pretty good. At the same time, it's funny because I mean, part of my fast was trying to be ready in prayer, be ready in what God calls me to step up, or when I'm needed to do that. And at the same time, I'm still divided on how to tell other people to pray more for what they ask for. So I feel like that's something I should continue to work on too, because I mean, more or less, it's just trying to be a listening ear. But when you hear someone complain, I keep saying someone, but more or less my marriage, I'm trying. I'm praying on being patient, and I struggle with learning when to step in and tell my wife that this might be a good solution, or just continuing to be that listening ear. But
Yeah.
as much as I'm feeling like I'm getting that reward, I'm getting the patience when it comes to my kids, getting that patience when it comes to my wife. I'm still torn on when to step in when I'm called to try to lead it sometimes. So
I
uh,
know a couple of things that I've learned. This is from marriage therapists in the past with my ex-wife. One of the things that she said is most of the time when women come to you as men, and I've heard this from multiple therapists, different times, men, we're terrible communicators, and we also want to fix things. We're fixers. That's us naturally. We don't necessarily care about the problem. We just care about getting the problem fixed.
right,
But what this therapist said is 90% of the time, when a woman comes to you about a problem, she doesn't want you to fix it. She just wants you to listen.
yeah,
Now, she said, if a woman wants you to fix it, she'll ask you. Now, you do have some women who they're like, I just want you to read my mind and figure it out. For those women, what you can do is when they come to you with a problem, you listen and you're like, okay, is there anything else you want to add or whatever, or anything you're not telling me? Or no matter what the problem is, it could be about something that happened in her day, something that happened to her. And then what you do is you say, do you mind if I give you my advice? Or would you like my advice on this circumstance or situation? That way, you know exactly what it is that she wants. If she wants it, she'll ask. That way, she say, "Yeah, I wanted to. Not really wasn't looking for any advice. I just wanted, you to hear me out." Then that way, there's not really a struggle with trying to figure out, okay, when am I supposed to step in and try to fix the problem? When am I not supposed to step in and try to fix the problem? There's that. And also, I sent you Way of the Superior Man book, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you started reading it? I know you've been busy with some other stuff. Did you
No,
get a
I
chance?
started it.
Okay.
I'm still in the beginning, to be honest,
Okay.
but yeah, I did start it, and I mean, I appreciate the advice at this point because, or I mean, as far as sharing the wisdom, because yeah, I was focused on staying patient and just being that listener, but at the same time, part of me felt torn. But I appreciate the reassurance as far as
Mm-hmm.
it's okay just to be that listener. Because I mean, man, I felt like I was biting my tongue, squeezing my hand, and touching my toes, trying not to speak, and it hurt every second. But just trying to be that listener. But yeah,
Man, and look, and you were the only one that struggled through it. My son Liam, he here at the house, and my wife would be saying stuff, getting on him about certain stuff, and I'll be sitting there, and I'm telling you, it take everything in me to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I don't, but a lot of times I do. And it's not in the fact I want to say nothing. Is as men, once again, we are fixers. So I'm like, okay, you've spoken on the problem. What's the solution? Like, let's get to the solution. Like, all right, he go in the kitchen and don't wash his hands. Like, I don't want to, like, we shouldn't be sitting here for 10 minutes talking about not washing the hands part. Let's get, okay, how can we wash the hands? How can we be more cognizant of washing the hands? Like, that's me, but that's men. Because we're like, okay, let's get the problem fixed so we can move on. Like, let's not keep harping on the problem. But as men, we have to be patient and understand women go through they got a whole process that they go through. And so we got to allow them to go through that process. And yes, it is difficult. Like I do that, Alex. I'm there with you. I be gritting my teeth. I had to start humming songs in my head, all this and that, like, because I just want to be like, all right, so how we fix this? but I can't do that because then that makes her feel invalidated. And then if she becomes invalidated, then now you got a whole bunch of other problems that you don't want to deal with. So it's hard.
No, but at the same time, that I feel like I was built on the positive side as far as my fast, because before I'd been quick to give that reply.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't worry, baby, you don't gotta finish this sentence. I already know the answer. But yeah, it's just focusing on finishing, just listening,
Yeah.
and not trying to get that fix. I know we talked about it before, but like you said, it hurts sometimes to not get the fix. But it'd be that, and as far as the physical side of fasting going good. As far as the eating habits, went out for a nice hike this morning to stay on the healthy side, and I was out there, and I felt like there was gonna be a gator grabbing me any second. I know I was out there in the middle of the woods, but spent that time just getting my mind right. So it put the rest of the day in a good place. So.
Good. Ty, I know you do your weekly fast, but as far as weekly fast food, but as far as the character attributes, how is that going for you?
Oh, it's going good. You mean as far as me fasting and it affecting my character?
Yeah, like some of the characteristics that you negative characteristics that you fasted from. Did you get a chance to choose those? Because I know you went on that first day.
I didn't.
Okay. If you want.
Negative characteristics. Procrastination is a big one.
You missed the lesson we did, Alex. When I did that 2 days ago, right? Or were you on that lesson?
I was on that lesson.
Oh, you was on that lesson. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. That was a big one. But when I think I told you this before. Every time I fast, when you fast, you think more clear. You be more active. You be way more active. You want to do more.
Yeah.
Feel like it's just a different feel than when you eating all that other stuff that don't amount to nothing. Because I said I do this every week, a month, a week, a month, and I tested it out and I said, maybe I can get some fish. Got some fish. I just became immediately sluggish, and I was like, nah, see, this ain't it.
Yeah.
So it's just a different feel. My thought process is different. I want to read more. I want to do more. I want to be more positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I learned like I told you, like you can actually they say we need meat, but we really don't, because fruits and vegetables give us everything that we need. And when you eat certain meats and stuff like that, it give off certain chemicals, because when the animal dies,
we don't know how the animal was killed. Yeah, that's why Torah tells us how to properly slaughter an animal. Yeah, because if you improperly slaughter an animal, all of those stress hormones and all of that adrenaline goes into the meat, and then you eat it, and that goes into you, and now you've taken on the characteristics of that animal. Yeah. So that's why it's important to know where your meat is sourced from.
I was going to tangent, but man, just procrastinating really, and not focusing on the negative. Sometimes, like you said, we tend to focus on the negative a lot. But when that fast hit, I don't want to think about that. But if I do, if it's something that I can fix myself or get rid of, like I said, procrastinate. There's some of the negative things that that I've brought into my life because I've been procrastinating. Like, I got supposed to get this done, and I ain't do it. Now it's bringing a negative cause and effect in my life, and I'm like, dang, I should. If I would have just got it done, everything would have been all right.
Yes, sir. No, you're right, and that's why we gotta. And a lot of us struggle with that, man. And we went into some of the causes and how to overcome that. But yeah, that's a big one. And that's a big one. That is a big
one. You said validation. We just want to fix things. It's true. Like, but I think I struggle with that is because, like you said, if you don't have a woman that's not there mentally, then you really gonna feel like you need to make sure everything is okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have confidence in her to take care of her side of her role, then you gonna feel like every time she do something, you got to say something, or when she talk, it's not that you're not listening to her, but she's not making sense. So now you kind of over talk her. So
Yeah.
because you know what she's about to say, and it's not going to make sense. But it's like, so even then though, even sometimes I just still got to sit down and listen, and then we have that conversation. But even then though, some women, you can listen and you can negate. You don't mean to negate what they're saying, but you know that's wrong, and
Yeah.
they still get mad.
Yeah.
So it's true that you have to find someone that's mentally there, or it's gonna be all issues
Yes,
because
sir.
of their ego and their pride.
Yep, you are correct. So that's good. As far as that procrastination, because I know a lot of us struggle with it. Another thing that I was, because I was studying the book Atomic Habits today, and I had already known about this, but I didn't even think about it. If y'all have ever heard of habit stacking, I'm not sure if you all are familiar with what habit stacking is, but if you're trying to get stuff done, the thing is, when you're trying to do stuff, or you're trying to do something new, or you're trying to do something that you're not typically used to doing, it can be a struggle. Or if you're someone who procrastinates to put stuff off, but if you habit stacking is tying something that you want to do to something that you already do already. So for instance, let's just say, Ty, give me one thing that you struggle with or that you procrastinate with right now.
Getting paperwork done.
Okay. So, and I know your schedule is a little different because you work at night. But even still, I'm pretty sure when you get home and then you go to sleep and you wake up, you brush your teeth, right?
Right.
Okay. So if every time you brush your teeth, you say, I'm gonna brush my teeth and then I'm going to sit down and do my paperwork, you tie the paperwork to brushing your teeth. Now it may seem very easy, but it is easy as long as you do it. And then you get into that habit that when you brush your teeth, you go do paperwork. Now you're tying it together because you're not technically forcing yourself to create something new. You're putting it in the middle of an activity that you already do anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, let's just say, for instance, one of the examples they gave on the video from the book was, if you want to start working out, well, if you work out, like, let's just say, for instance, and you also want to make it easy, but let's just say, for instance, okay, the days that I go, like, if I get off of work and I'm on my way home and the gym's in the middle of it, in the middle of work and home, well, then make it a habit to go to the gym. So when I get off of work, tying getting off of work to going to the gym. Now, if I don't get off of work, I don't go to the gym, but we all know we don't get off of work. So I get off of work, go to the gym. Well, tie it to whatever, like whatever you have, whatever habit you're already doing every day. Now, if you're just somebody who don't have any habits and you just all over the place, I used to be like that. You need to just get ordered in life, period, and then start adding to it. But yeah, so habit stacking, if you all want to look that up and research that some more, habit stacking is a great way to stop procrastination and to also do the things that you feel like you need to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now we're going to get into the reading, Letters to a Young Brother. We are going to continue where we were at. We were, oh shoot, what was that? Page 1. What page was I on? 71. Yeah, we left off on page 171. So we're gonna read a little bit and then keep going. Y'all know I'm a little under the weather, so I struggle with hearing. Y'all might struggle with hearing me, but just bear with me. All right. So right now he's tying, as we remember, for those that weren't here, or those who don't remember last time we read, he was tying education and money, and how education can bring you more money, and how they're both tools in order for you to get options. So there are jobs today that weren't even created when I first entered the job market, such as web page designer or an eBay specialist. I have a friend who paid out $20,000 in 6 months from a baby grand piano by selling her old clothing on eBay. That is what I call a modern day supercharged yard sale. To have access to a great deal of information quickly and cheaply is like having your own private think tank of information. And it's up to you how you choose to use all of that information. You can also research things that you might be interested in. This new information-driven world is completely structured around choice, and your success is completely dependent on you making the right choices. And the right choice has everything to do with you following your heart, passion, and those things for which you are hopeful. Having more choices greatly increases your chance of success. When I was doing the basketball movie, He Got Game, I got a chance to play basketball with my co-star and NBA All-Star Ray Allen. He said to me that even though he is right-handed, he has for many years worked very hard to develop his left hand to be equally as good as his right. He said that sometimes the defender will cut off the right side of the court, and since he's developed his left, he now has the choice to go left and score. If he hadn't developed his left hand, his only choice would be to go right, greatly decreasing his chance of scoring. He made sure that he became the best possible player he could in order to increase his chance for success. Having tools that give us chances like education, information, technology, and resources, money, increases our chances of, but doesn't guarantee, success. Not even Ray Allen makes every shot, but that doesn't mean he stopped shooting. All right, man. I gotta jump on this plane and get back to LA. I love Chi-Town. Incredible pizza and great blues. You like the blues? Oh man, it's a great style of music. It's like slow rock and rap smashed together. Check out John Lee Hooker sometimes, or BB King. You talk about passion? Oh baby, they are hot. I'm boarding the plane. Hit me back via the computer you are so good at. Talk to you soon, your friend Hill. Now that was the end of his letter to him, and then now we got a couple of questions from some other people, some other kids, and he's going to answer them. Hill, what is a good salary to make? A good salary is an income that covers your living expenses plus regular savings. By living expenses, I mean your rent or mortgage, food, utilities, and transportation to work, etc. Different people have different living expenses because cost of living varies from place to place. I'll show you what I mean. First of all, your monthly expenses should never exceed your monthly income. So you're working a job that pays you $13 an hour and you work 40 hours a week. Your yearly salary would be $24,960 a year. That breaks down to $520 a week and $2,080 a month. Keep in mind that your rent or mortgage payment should not be more than 25% of your monthly salary. So that leaves you with 3 weeks pay for food, utilities, car insurance, entertainment, and savings. It is a good habit to deposit 10% of your weekly salary into a savings account and pretend it doesn't exist. That money will grow over time and become your wealth base. In addition to a savings account, you can put your money in what is called a mutual fund. They operate out of the stock market and can be set up to get automatic deposits. It can act like a savings account, as an example, one in Vanguard 500. Notice in the chart below, I have no line for credit card expenses because remember the debt rule. We do not believe in having any debt in any credit card debt. Here's an example of monthly expenses. Monthly income, $2,080, rent and mortgage, $520, utilities, $200, phone, $80, car insurance and gas, $120, food and groceries, $300, clothing, $120, entertainment, music, movies, games, $150, IRS and state taxes, $250, savings, $200, church or charitable donations, $100. With the above salary and expenses, that leaves only about $40 at the end of each month. But that is fine because you've covered everything you need to use your money for. So you keep that $40 in your bank account as just in case money. If you want to learn more about managing your money, you can check out these 2 books. The Money Book for the Young, Fabulous, and Broke by Susie Orman, and Wealth Happens One Day at a Time by Brooke M. Stevens. All right, so that's the end of that letter. Let's see what the next letter is. Okay, so in your last email, you got me spending $120 a month on gas and insurance for a car, but I don't have one yet. What do I need to actually buy a car? So his response, some people would say good credit and a loan, but as you know from my letter to you talking about the debt rule, I'm not one of those people. What you need to buy a car is the cash to pay for the car and to be able to afford the monthly insurance, gas, and maintenance fees. If you don't have a lot of money, there are a lot of very reliable used cars that are not very expensive. The first car I bought was a 13-year-old green Toyota Corolla station wagon that had a little rusty around the door edges. My friends jokingly called it the Green Hornet. The Green Hornet had 167,000 miles on it and cost me $500. I paid cash, and I wasn't embarrassed driving it because I paid for it with my own money. And it did the job a car was supposed to do. It got me from point A to point B safely and reliably. When you buy a used car, make sure you don't spend more than it's worth. Check out the value of different makes and years on the Blue Book website, KBB, and have a mechanic look at it before you hand over your money, so you don't get a limit. All right. So that was the end of letter number 7. We're going into part 3, which is titled The Real Deal, Girl, Sex, and Responsibility. And letter 8 is Finding Your Swagger. So, gentlemen, that was that. Do anybody have any questions, concerns, anything they want to add, talk about? What's good, Ty?
I actually read that book like I think a decade ago, maybe, and when you was reading it, yeah, it brought back some memories.
Okay.
Yeah, I read that book a decade ago. I think I did when you brought it up. I didn't think I was gonna remember. I was like, I don't remember nothing in that book. You started reading. I'm like, okay, I remember that part. You know, the letters and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember that book.
Oh, good, man. Like I said, I've never read the book. And I don't even read ahead, y'all. I promise you. Like, I literally, when I read it to you all, that's my first time reading it. So whatever I'm reading to y'all, that's my first time reading it. But I read the premise of the book and I liked what it was about. And I was like, okay, men can really use this information that I feel like this book is going to offer. And it's been a good book. Y'all have been loving it. So I'm going to keep reading it. Like I said, we got 8 days. We're going to finish this book. 8 days left in our fast, finish up. And then we're going to get this thing rolling. Brother Ben, you got anything you want to add? You're alone. You got anything you want to add? No, I guess he ain't got nothing. Alex, you got something? Oh, my bad. Hold on.
Shalom, family.
It was good.
Yeah, shalom, family. This is my first time here. Just sitting here taking it all in. Sorry I got here late.
No, you good, man. You good. Appreciate you being here, my brother. Appreciate you being here.
No questions.
Yes,
questions, man. I wish I'd have been here sooner. It seems like I missed a lot of good lessons, man. I hope I can catch the recap from Ty. So,
and I'm also gonna put the lessons up. I got all the recordings. I'm gonna put them up once we finish. Put them up on YouTube, and then everybody will be able to go back through and listen to the lessons about the things that they missed. So yeah, well, we appreciate you being here. We're on here every night, 8 p.m. Every single night, 8 p.m. So you got the link to the Zoom. So every night, 8 p.m. when we look forward to seeing you on here.
All right, shalom. We'll be.
Shalom, my brother. All right, Alex, you had something you want to add?
It was just a small comment about the book. Like, you spoke about how it connected, but I think it's funny because sometimes I feel like I'm the person that the letter is written to, and sometimes I feel like I'm more the person that's writing the letter as far as like giving the advice or receiving the advice. But either way, it's definitely connected on a few different points.
Good. Yeah, and it can be that way. And as I've been reading it too, like some of this stuff, I'm like, dang, man, because this book came out, I think 2004, 2006. We were still in high school. I'm like, dang. Like if I had read this when I was 2004, what was I? I was a freshman in high school. So if I had read this then, man, this would have helped a lot because honestly, I ain't had nobody telling me this stuff. Like I told you, y'all know my parents was 14 to 16 when they had me. So they were still growing up. So when I was 14, my mother wasn't even 30 yet. So when I was in high school, my mother wasn't even in her 30s yet. So it was a lot of stuff that I didn't get. You know, my dad was in his, had just hit 30. So, you know, there was a lot of stuff that I did not get. And just this little book right here would have helped me with a lot of knowledge that I had missed out on. So, I'm glad I'm reading it now, and then I could pass this on to my children. So if there's any gaps that I'm missing, that's the thing, fellas, we ain't gonna know everything, and that's okay. That's why we have these books, and we can pass these to our children. So that way, whatever cracks we miss, the books come in and fill it in with the cement. So that's why we just gotta keep reading. I read these like I let my kids read kid books, but I read books like this to my children. Like my daughter, my 1-year-old, when she was a couple of weeks, couple of months, the books that I was reading for me, she would be sitting there in my arms and I'll be reading them to her. Like I'll be reading out loud so she can hear it. And sometimes she'll fall asleep in my arm. Sometimes she'll just sit there and listen. But I read that so that way, all the things that I missed, I'm passing along to her. So that way it's at least implanted in her subconscious. So that way, when it's time for it to blossom, it's already there. She don't have to go out searching for the information that's already inside of her. So yeah, man, I completely get it. Yeah, so I appreciate you all. We're gonna be on here tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be, something good. So we're gonna be on here tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, brothers. Yalom, I know you knew, and like I tell everybody, this is not a secret society. So if you know any other man who could benefit from this, send them out the link to the Zoom call, have them join in, come in. This is Infrastructure of a Man. We're here to help men grow, help men build, be each other's accountability partners, and pour into each other and support one another. So it don't matter. They don't have to be, we don't care about your religion, spirituality, race, color, creed, none of that. We don't care about any of that. We're here to help men build. So send it out to any man that you know. All right. So I appreciate y'all, brothers.
We'll do. This is needed in our community. We need support.
Yes, sir. All right. And y'all have a beautiful evening. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.